Hi everyone, I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a Kansas farm girl raised by Depression era parents. They taught me a lot of things on how to save money, and at times I may be considered cheap on a few things. I don't know, but they're things that I'm comfortable with. They're things that I can live with, and so I thought I would share a few of them with you today. Now, I am not as cheap and frugal as my parents were. I grew up in a household where they literally would pick the weevils out of flour, and we would still use the flour, and Dad would say it's just a little bit more protein. We don't do that in my house, no way. But I do a few things. For instance, I will reuse coffee that has been made from the day before. I will put it in a cup, add my creamer, put it in the microwave, and I think it tastes absolutely fine. I can do this for up to 3 days, and I have noticed no difference. But by then, it's usually gone, and I need to make another pot. I just can't see wasting it, and I have used it for other things before, like freezing ice cubes or making cold coffee, but I figure, why should I do that when I'm going to make another pot again tomorrow? I just as well use up what is left over. When I grew up, we didn't have a coffee pot. My dad made instant coffee every day. But during that era, World War II era, they rationed coffee, and they did what they called Roosevelt coffee, and they reused grounds from coffee. Now, I don't reuse the grounds. I've heard from some of the viewers that they do and that it works fine for them, but I've tried that and I never can get it to work exactly right. It always seems like it's too weak. It just does, I don't have the right amount, I guess, that I'm adding to it, but I will reuse old coffee. Another thing that I do is I will try to restore anything that I can that we mess up in some way, rather than getting rid of it or hiding it or whatever you do with things you mess up. We melted a bread bag on top of our toaster oven the other day by turning it on and having a bread bag up there, and it looked absolutely terrible. I Googled it. I figured out how to get all of that plastic off of there that was melted, and it looks like new. I also had a coffee insulator that was rusted on the outside. It was brand new other than those rust spots. I Googled it. I figured out how to remove all of those rust spots. It looks like brand new. So I will figure out how to restore things if I can. One of the things that I will reconstitute and restore is brown sugar. If my brown sugar gets hard and dry and lumpy, I was taught by someone when I first started working in a industrial kitchen to cut an apple slice and put it in the brown sugar for a couple of days. It will soften your brown sugar up. You won't have to throw it out, and you have saved your brown sugar and it's usable again. You just want to keep a close eye on it so that slice of apple doesn't mold, but it will soften that brown sugar right back up again. I remove temptation. For instance, we don't even have our hot water turned on to our washing machine. We only have the cold water on there because I just don't use hot water. I don't even have the controls set on the wall to even run hot water to the washing machine. And I can probably count on less than 2 hands how many things we have plugged in the house. We have our air mattress plugged in for our Sleep Number bed, my husband's CPAP machine, our deep freeze, our washing machine, my refrigerator, and my computer, and my internet box. What is that, like 7 or 8 things? That's all we have plugged in. Now, when we watch TV in the evening, we will flip on the power strip, which will turn on our TV and our Roku box and our lamp by our chairs. But those are and then we flip it back off before we go to bed. So we're very frugal with our electricity, and our bill was still $175 last month. So that tells you how much the electricity bills have gone up. I've never had a bill that high except for when I had kids living at home, and we have almost everything shut off. So even the light that I'm using right now to make this video is a light that is plugged into my computer and running off of that. It's not running on its own power. So we're very, very careful about this kind of stuff. We also will reuse our cat food bags or our feed bags. We buy them in 25-pound bags. We have outdoor cats and indoor cats, and we use them for my trash bags because I don't have trash pickup. We will put our disposable trash in the trash can for us to burn trash, and we reuse that bag unless it gets messy or smelly. And we use the bags also to keep our recyclables in them, and then we take the recyclables to the recycle bin that's 7 miles away when we're going that direction, and we dump them and we save the bags. And we just keep reusing the bags until they're not usable anymore. So we don't buy any trash bags. That's one of the things that we do that people might consider a little bit cheap, but I can't see a point in buying trash bags when we've already paid for these and they serve a purpose of what we need done without having to buy anything else. I also will check the square footage on my toilet paper when I buy it. This is something my mom taught me to do. Some are 1-ply, some are 2-ply, some have multiple square footage, and some have hardly any square footage. And if you are just a brand person and you say, I only buy Quilted Northern or I only buy Charmin, look at the square footage, because the price is one thing, the brand is one thing, how many plies it has is one thing. But if you look at the square footage, some are a better buy than others. And I think along the line, we have forgotten to look at square footage, so they can trick us. They can make those big, fluffy mega rolls, and we think we're getting a really good deal, but it's just a big fluffy roll of toilet paper. So check that square footage and see if you are getting the best deal. So those are just a few of the things that I do to save money. Let me know some of the things you do to save money that might be considered cheap. And I hope to see you in the next video. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't yet. I would appreciate that very much. Have a great day.